My name is Vinny Armando, and this is my video reflection on chapters 8 through 12 in Innovation Mindset. So I'll kind of start with the key takeaways, but I kind of put my personal connections and disagreements in that as well. But I'll start with kind of the deficit model. Book talks about how we should move to a strength-based model, but deficit model is kind of where you focus on what a kid's not good at and give them more of that. So kids not very good at math, kids not very good at reading, you double up. That's something that my school currently does right now. I think that's very popular. Um, but moving to a strength-based model would kind of focus on those kids' strengths instead. Talked about some of the positives of that. Kids are like 6 times more likely to be engaged. They're more likely to develop confidence and harness a growth mindset in that area, and be able to, deal with different failures better because they're more confident and they can kind of get over those and kind of kick the door down and go above and beyond. Um, Kind of intrinsically motivated to do those things because they've had positive relationships with it. So, um, another key takeaway is just the whole idea that less is more. Too many initiatives and you barely scratch the surface. I definitely agree with that. I mean, I've only been teaching 5 years, but the amount of acronyms that I've learned and different things that you know I've been pushed to learn. While I think they are all great, it's really hard to dig deep and really apply it into your classroom and learn to innovate within that area. I definitely agree with that. Less can be more. Um, Also, another key takeaway was just kind of embracing an open culture or open visibility. They use the analogy of kind of remixing music, which I kind of enjoyed. Yeah, just being visible can make you so much better. Whether it's opening up your classroom to have someone come observe you. I typically find that I'm a lot better if I know that another adult's going to be in my classroom for whatever reason. I also think kind of getting out there on social media can make you better. Just knowing that someone's watching or looking at what you're posting. Um, and yeah, another key takeaway would be competitive collaboration. Um, I've been an athlete, so I've always kind of felt that competition is a good thing. You can learn and grow from it, but I like how the book kind of split it up into competition that can be good and competition that can be bad. Um, Competition in where you are kind of withholding information or not talking to someone in order to gain a competitive advantage would be bad kind of competition. People that at the end of the day, we don't all learn and grow from that, and we're not going to end up living in a better world because of that. Um, but good competitive collaboration is when you're sharing information. So I think that makes a lot of sense. Everyone kind of benefits when you work that way. Um, Another one is kind of just learning the way that you tell your students to learn. So, kind of modeling that and talking about what you are trying to learn with your students as well. Um, kind of asking questions, and it also talks about a lot about finding and solving your own problems, which I think that's really important work. Um, I think kind of reading that chapter, it helped make sense of why we're doing like the innovation experiment that we're doing in this class, finding and solving our own problems. I don't remember very many times in my life where I've actually done that, where I've found my own problems and solved them. We're always kind of given the problem and asked to solve it, and that's a lot of times what we're doing in the classroom as well with our students is we give them the problem, and that can be so ineffective if they have no idea, why they are solving this problem. Whereas if they find the problem themselves and go about solving it, they're already motivated to do it. So, um, our discussion question as a group was, how are you actively sharing your learning with your school and global community? Um, I'll say Twitter, as well as the book, kind of repped how important that can be and how good of a learning experience it can be. I love scrolling through Twitter. I follow so many educators that I know and respect, and have listened to them talk and gone to different PD with them. So I really value having Twitter. Whether I scroll through for 5 or 10 minutes, I really learn a lot on there. I also have connected with different people through it that have helped me become a better teacher. And I've also been able to kind of give out advice to people who in certain areas as well. So I love using Twitter. Um, our school also has a hashtag WGSD chat, um, which we've been on. Even one year we got paid. Um, every Thursday night we'd have a hashtag WGSD chat, and someone would be the moderator and ask questions, and we get paid an hour of PD work for that. So that was awesome. Um, Something that I've seen kind of on Twitter that um, I don't really know how to deal with was kind of just a parent got on there with some really old school beliefs, and the people that are on Twitter I don't think really represent educators as a whole, because if you're likely to reach out on Twitter, I just don't think it represents the whole population. I think there are some teachers that would believe kind of what the parent said as well, but she was just very old school and got on there and kind of really bashed a bunch of the teachers that were talking on there and bashed the whole idea that we got paid to do it as well. So that kind of stirred me away from tweeting on there too much, but I still get on there. But I might just not be as vocal, and I probably don't post as many things that are as controversial as I used to. So kind of learn from that experience.